don't get me wrong.
Meanwhile, Australia's Parliament.
He says, we're bringing in people from South Africa at the moment. There's a huge amount coming into Australia who have disease. They've got AIDS. If that is not racist, what is it? Oh, it's not racist. Oh, somebody bring the dictionary because Senator Hanson does not know the definition of racism. The fact that you would say just weeks ago to Senator Faruqi, piss off back to Pakistan, you're not just vindictive, mean, nasty, you bring disgrace to the human race. No dignity whatsoever as a senator.
I mean, even the guy behind you was like, hey, come on, you're going a little too far because statistically, it is the truth. And then Christine said facts aren't racist. Dismissing the fact for the sake of political correctness is morally weak and lacking of character. Also, the facial expression of the guy behind her. We're all think the same, at least the people with common sense. Liberal white woman screaming at Lake Michigan to rage against the election. I'm like, I find it rather interesting when you do something that can change the election, but you want to add other people to scream with you to justify that you're doing something that has no effect on the election. Okay, it is interesting though, there was a few men there, but they didn't jump on the water. I guess they are misogynists now.
Has kind of been thrown on his heels by this, and he's not really sure how to go after Vice President Harris. He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes it. I know.
Was that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
And that is the moment I realized Trump was gonna win. Because that meant hidden, a lot of left-leaning people know they're gaslighting themselves for moral points and they just go with the flow. That's like me saying, hey, my wife is a very good mom, and my kids go...
¿Cómo estás? ¿Ah? ¿Qué pasó, mijo? ¿Qué traes? ¿Te dejaron solos? ¿Qué?
No me quieren guiar.
¿Viniste solo? ¿Qué tantos años tienes, mijo?
10.
¿10 años? ¿Y vienes solo? ¿Sí? ¿Y tu papá y tu mamá?
No, mi mamá no va a estar en Estados Unidos.
¿Están en los Estados Unidos? ¿Qué parte de México vienes?
No, de Salvador.
¿El Salvador?
De Sonzacate.
¿Qué tantos años tienes, mijo?
¿Ah?
¿Qué tantos años tienes?
10.
¿10 años? ¿Sí? ¿Y te dejaron la guía? ¿Te dejaron solo?
Sí.
¿Andas perdido? ¿Sí?
Sí.
Ok. Ok, pues ya llegaste a los Estados Unidos. ¿Ok? Ahorita le hablo a la migración para que te levanten. ¿Entendido?
Sí.
Ok.
What kind of parents let themselves be separated from their child, and what kind of government official wants this to continue? Well, definitely the government, which is a bad one. At least leave the mom with the kid and the father goes alone. But then at the same time, we don't understand the situation.
Their Ring camera capturing the whole thing.
Hello, post office.
Guy's wife, Marcia, answering the door.
Is there an older gentleman out that lives here?
Yes.
He fell down the road there.
Jalen was filling in for another mail carrier, so he didn't know the Millers. Joining us tonight, Guy and Marcia Miller.
So thankful for all that he did. It could have been so much worse if Jalen hadn't stopped. So we just want to say thank you.
Jalen, the mail carrier, with us too.
When I saw a guy take a tumble, I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting myself into, but I did know that whatever he was going through on that ground, we were going to go through it together.
The Millers have asked Jalen and his family to join them for Thanksgiving next week. Tonight, both families grateful.
We've become family, and that's what it should be, right? We love you, Jalen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
A special Thanksgiving for sure.
And I bet a bunch of people would say, is your wife a Trump supporter? Because that's the only thing they see.
Here's the third assassin. Show yourself. Third time's the charm, babe. Somebody, not me, FBI. Somebody else. I believe in you.
Hello, FBI? We got another one.
I made a backup because I've racked up enough community guidelines violations for an account warning, and my joke video got uploaded to libs of TikTok on Twitter, and then a bunch of conservatives started swarming my post and tagging the FBI, so I deleted the video. I know it's still on Twitter, but can't do shit about that. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to get this out here in case my shit gets fucked up by a bunch of maggots. And it's so fucking hilarious how serious they're taking my joke when some of these bitches literally swarmed a Capitol and brought a fucking noose for Mike Pence. So it's just a joke. Calm the fuck down, motherfuckers.
I mean, you brought the standard. I can just say it's just a pronoun. My account can get deleted, right? So hey, we're just holding you at the same standard, so everybody is safe. Especially when yours, you might hurt yourself, and they might shoot somebody.
President Trump, a smart and experienced person, will come up with a solution, especially given that he has gone through quite an ordeal of fighting to reclaim the Oval Office. Well, probably just like me, you are amazed, not by the fact that absolutely uncivilized means had been used against Trump, all the way up to assassination attempts, numerous assassination attempts. And I think he's not safe even now. The history of the United States has known many cases, but I think President Trump is a smart person and a cautious one, I hope. What amazed me most, that in fighting him, not only Trump was subjected to humiliating court procedures, accusations and so on, but his family was attacked as well. His children was attacked. Gangsters don't do this in Russia. When criminal gangs fight, they don't touch children and women. It's men who fight among themselves. But those guys stooped as low as that. I think this looks so bad that it only reconfirms how low the political system of the United States has fallen.
The fact that a country can say, hey, we goes against men, not women and children. But the Western country, it's normal to go after men and women and children if they just vote wrong. Yeah, it's a very wild statement if it's a political thing. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's about assimilating in the country that is helping you, right?
If this turkey tastes half as good as it looks, I think we're all in for a very big treat.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
Okay, Adam.
And you might think this is AI. Well, you have no idea how they were celebrating Thanksgiving at Mar-a-Lago. And that wasn't gay at all.
Oof.
But surprising news from UK. They're going to fix the border.
It isn't a global trend or taking your eye off the ball. No, this is a different order of failure. This happened by design, not accident. Policies were reformed deliberately to liberalise immigration. Brexit was used for that purpose, to turn Britain into a one-nation experiment in open borders. Global Britain. Remember that slogan? That is what they meant. A policy with no support, and which they then pretended wasn't happening.
Keir Starmer is only saying this now that there are million signatures calling for him to be removed. What a transparent fraud. Yes, this guy sucks so much. He is supposed to be in a specific party, as if he's like the right-wing party, but all his action is reflecting the left-wing party. But as you can see here, this guy in the red circle, he locked him up for holding this board and did nothing about it. That's interesting.
Right, so tell us why you're here today.
Because we did a vote in 2016, the democratic vote, it's not being upheld. Parliament's took it onto themselves. The corrupt MPs have took it onto themselves to deny our vote what we put them in power for. But now they're in power, they're stuck there defying what we put them in here for. And all these corrupt MPs now are saying they're getting picked on and abused, but why not? They actually went in there to do a job and they've gone and turned against will of people, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, how do we go by our rights and bring our children up if the corrupt system all the way through, police, judicial services, everything, it's all involved. Parliament, MPs, everything, they're all corrupt. We get Prime Ministers corrupt. So how can we tell our children to bring them up straight and narrow when everybody above them was corrupt, but yet they're expecting the people to do as they're told by people that's not doing as they're told what would have put in here for. So I just can't see around it unless they come out to Brexit. I don't even trust the ballot service no more because I don't trust them fixing it. Honestly, it's so corrupt, the whole system. I don't even trust the balloting system.
And his name was Peter Lynch, and he is not with us anymore. If somebody is sent to prison and suddenly I receive the message that he decided to go away, I would always take that in consideration when that person was sent to prison for fighting for their own country.
The United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas. But that is not the whole story. That has never been the whole story. Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease. We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
The fact that you only focus on European explorers, not the African, nor the South American, nor the Chinese people, maybe the Russians, I don't know. You make it seem that only European people were pillaging or have slaves. I'm like, that's a wild statement, which makes me so happy you are not the president.
As the DOJ said, there's nothing there.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
They said they didn't have enough to indict. That shouldn't be the standard.
No, it's a charge, dear.
Okay,
no,
dear.
No,
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for the response. Okay,
hold on. I'm just going to stop it right here because we're not going to get off on a wrong foot. Please do not address a grown woman as dear in a condescending tone. Do not do that at my table. You can continue.
And just like they called me conservative, right-winger, Trump supporter, Nazi, I'm gonna say, if you don't want me to call you dear, don't act like a deer.
I have a question about Joe Rogan, and you've sort of touched on elements of this in the US. He's obviously the world's most popular podcast host. He has 3 billion listeners. He's sort of managed to successfully capture that bro market in America. And his influence is such that in the wake of the US election, the Democrats have said that one of Kamala Harris's mistakes was actually didn't appear on his program. So I'm just wondering if you had any observations about what's behind the Joe Rogan effect, how you believe he's managed to so successfully capture this huge market. And then for us here in Australia, you know, how would or should the ABC be going about capturing that kind of audience?
Look, I'm not sure that I'm the right person to respond to that question. I am not a consumer or enthusiast about Mr. Rogan and his work.
Shocking.
I am not one of the 3 billion, and I'm unlikely to be 3 billion and one anytime soon. I think people like Mr. Rogan prey on people's vulnerabilities.
What?
They prey on fear, they prey on anxiety, they prey on all of the elements that contribute to uncertainty in society, and they entrepreneur fantasy outcomes and conspiracy outcomes as being a normal part of social narrative. I personally find it deeply repulsive, and to think that someone has such remarkable power in the United States is something that I look at in disbelief. I'm also absolutely in dismay that this can be a source of public entertainment when it's really treating the public as plunder for purposes that are really quite malevolent.
How can you say he's treating people like plunder or whatever you want to call it when USA was treating the taxpayers' money like plunder to help other people, as if they don't have a human right to decide how they're going to use the tax dollar, even if they voted them in. And they're preying on their anxiety. Kamala's preyed on women's anxiety of abortion as if it was way better to have that than preventing wars, make it possible that you can buy a house, and lowering the crime statistic. And Joe Rogan is preying on the anxiety of the people when so many immigrants that are legal voted against you. Come on, man.
Don't get me wrong, mako sa kita bong. Butta fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk criollo colombici jam jam. Turloketa berdetta welcome.